All right, let's get this stream going. All right, Instagram is rolling. That looks good. Everybody rock. All right, we're all going here. Let me get my stream rocking here. Thanks for joining me, guys. We're trying to get this set up. It's just me tonight, so we're making this happen here. There we go. All right, let's make sure I can see the comments. All right, let's roll it. Hey everyone, welcome to the stream. I've been gone a while. Thank you for hanging out. We're gonna get after this Raven tonight. If you're new here, my name is David Lozeau. I'm a Southern California-based artist, and thanks for joining me. We're gonna get after tonight. This is a piece called The Sacred Raven. I was working on this at a live demo event a month ago. Getting back to it now, so excited to finally get back into it. I apologize, I lost my head cam for tonight. It's just me, so I'll be reading comments and stuff, take little breaks and catch up. My Erica's not able to join us, she's not feeling well, or the dog, so it's just me. So it's gonna be crappy because I'm not as good as they are. So we're gonna make it happen. Again, thank you guys for hanging out, and we're gonna get this rolling. So again, apologize, there'll be a slight delay for me to get the comments and stuff, but we'll get painting. Again, feel free to fire any comments. If I don't get to them during the stream, then I'll definitely catch up with you afterwards and reply to everything. But we're going to get after painting. Feel free to ask any questions about art or this piece or process, all that good stuff. Again, if you're new here, we do this every Wednesday at 5 p.m. PST time. I was gone in Australia for a series of shows this last month, so I just got back now, and we're going to get after it and get caught up. I haven't had a chance to work on this again for a month, so I'm really excited to kind of dive back into this here and get to the fun part. There's, of course, the skull part here, which is what you're here. So we're going to put the paint out, and we're going to get after it. Looks like everything's working. Hey, thank you, Comstock. Good to be back. Feels like I was gone forever. It was a really long, I mean, the 14-hour flight, that makes it pretty difficult. So I'm excited to be back here, be in my own time zone. Really fun in Australia. If you have the work and the paint, it's the third time there. They're super supportive of the art. This is really amazing to get a chance to travel there and to take part in 2 hot rod culture events. It's really fun to be part of that. Different scenes. I've got to travel all over the world and to see different countries and how they do the hot rods and all the swing dancing and all of the surf rock. It's really just a fun spot. I get to kind of spoiled to get to travel around and kind of see how other countries do it. Because around so many shows like that anymore, it's always fun to get back out there. And I love seeing how the hot rods, I mean, it's so hard to get a rod over there. They have to ship it and everything else. So it's fun to see what they do. I have a video about the whole trip coming out soon. I just got to edit it together, but it kind of shares and shows all the stuff we have to do. But I apologize for missing the stream for a while. I was gone. But we're back now, and we're going to get after it. Again, this is another piece in my Sacred Animal line series. I did the Sacred Owl was the first one. You can see that on my site. And this is kind of the next one in line. And I have 3 or 4 more in line you're going to see. I'm doing a live demo at the licensing show in Vegas in May. You'll kind of see, we're going to do a horned sacred animal. Time to do one of those. So it's a really fun series to mix it up. All kind of the same theme, that kind of religious iconology to it. So we're just excited to be able to mix it up. Again, I paint so much, it's fun to find different subjects to tackle. It isn't all just Day of the Dead, but it really all stems from there in kind of new and interesting ways. So that's what we're doing. So today, right now, I'm doing all the line work. So you're looking at the painting. What you see here is all the background is acrylic. All the colors are gouache, kind of like an opaque watercolor. And what I'm doing now is the line work is with enamel, like a pinstriper's paint. And this is where all the detail goes in. This, for me, is the most fun part. This is really where it all comes together. So we're just in here, and I'm making lines, and I'm going to carve the skull out, and we're going to really make him come to life. That's just, it could be a she. I don't know the skull's orientation, so we don't know. So we're going to bring them to life. But this really is the most fun part of the process. Everything comes together, details all in there. It's all kind of pieced. So this is what we're doing. But again, fire any questions you have about our process or really anything else. We're kind of over here to answer questions. So. I'm going to carve this spell out here a little bit. I like these kind of coming from behind. I want to keep that really coming out of the darkness. A piece like this with this many feathers and textures, it really is about pushing things back. Kind of going back in, carving. The pop up here, just I feel like this is a little too strong. Just kind of working a painting. Kind of just push things back, pull things forward. Just kind of make a nice balance so it kind of flows through to get to where I'm trying to make it harmonize. Want this to be a little more subtle and goes into the waves. So push some of those back. I'm working on the skull. I'm looking around, I'm seeing those kind of things. So hold on a second. I had to block it off my comments. Comstock got blocked. I want to show. Comstock, I was going to stream from Australia just so you can see the show and keep your perfect attendance record. Oh, but you don't have perfect attendance, do you? Because apparently anniversaries are more important than making it to the bus jam. Whatever. I do feel like a rudder ship without you to tell me where to paint and what pieces I missed. So it is good to have you back on the stream. To be honest, Eric's not here, so you got to fill in. More. So again, we're kind of carving out details. I want the skull to be behind, really kind of coming out. So you'll see me kind of block in the shapes, and then I just start kind of carving. Carving up like what the right word, but just kind of manipulating the shapes, pushing things back, kind of give it a nice value. I don't want you to see all the eyeball here. I want this to be pushed back farther. So I'm going to kind of keep pushing things back. See, pawns and heirlooms, that's how you pay for the art. See, that's a good model. Everyone should do that. And some of my family's heirlooms are really worth anything. You can see I'm just kind of build this eye socket out. Just kind of pushing things back, erasing. Rarely is when in these kind of things is the one line the perfect line. It's kind of it's a combination of lines, shapes. Keep pushing things back. There we go. And getting better. I don't like all these. Don't like you. Away. A little bit so you can kind of see in the socket the texture inside there. We laugh about that thunder down under every time we see it when we're in Vegas. It's always been a source of laughter every time we see that billboard. No, she didn't go to Australia. She actually was able to get sick at home. So she didn't make the trip with me. I was out and back. She's been there two times before, so she did not go on this trip. So she stayed here with the digging dogs. We're going to carve out some big stuff here. Again, feel free to any comments, questions. Feel free to fire them through. We are here to hang out and paint. I said we, I mean, it's mini. So feel free to fire anything through you have. We're working on this guy again, carving out details. Really use the fun part, kind of just carving out the pieces. Pieces there, some textures. Wing structures, kind of like wing structures. Elongating those lines. I go back in, obviously, and I'll do the side parts here and back up here, but I wanted to get to the skull for tonight to kind of show that part of the process. So, down here. Texture in there. Just kind of, build up the shapes. It's really fun to render large shapes, like large skeletons like this. Often when I draw a painting, the skulls tend to be pretty small in comparison to this, where they tend to be, that size, kind of, round, maybe golf ballish size for the pieces. So this here lets me really explore all kinds of textures and kind of put it all together in a way I don't normally get a chance to do. Detail on TV, just little subtle things that would get lost normally. So this painting here is 18 by 24, and the layout is the same as the sacred owl. If you go to look at that piece there, so they do match, because the idea is for all this whole series to kind of match and go together. So that was the plan. And so the next piece, and I'll even speak it in, so you guys know who you're on the screen. The next piece, I believe, is probably going to be a deer. I have a really nice idea that I can kind of use this. I'm excited. I've done a deer before, so I'm excited to try something new and different. So we'll see how that goes. I do a dragonfly piece in my mind. It is not part of this series, but it's a cool idea too. So all kinds of fun stuff coming. Whatever here. All right. And this piece will be available in paper prints, canvas prints. The original is obviously available right now. Yeah, I love prints in all sizes and dimensions and stuff when it gets released. So if you like it, you can find a piece that fits your budget. That's it. Go in here and just kind of carve out. I know the shapes that I want. I'm just kind of making sure I can go get them. Basically, kind of making sure they're there. Some heat, bits and pieces, kind of going there. Again, some of this detail on the bottom, I'll probably end up getting rid of. behind them, but I like to leave a little texture, a little big black area. So just kind of leaving some stuff that I'll come back and play with later on to see if I like it. Diagonal lines to break up the back and the other side. So we're just kind of, this is the fun part, with the enamel. It is permanent. One stroke is down, you can't remove it. But this is the, I'm working on the piece for, at this point, probably 25, 30 hours. This is the fun part, where I can kind of just do whatever I want to do and really make some shape. So the small frames Comstock that you saw before, those are all coming up in live streams. Once this one's finished, I don't think I have a large painting to work on for next week, so we'll probably jump on to one of those small ones. Again, those are all prepped for the coming, basically coming live streams. So kind of pop them in when I get a chance. If I have a large painting, I'll always jump on a large painting first because usually it's already in process, like the motorcycle one. But the motorcycle one I'm probably going to share because all that's left is motorcycle parts. And it's just not that sexy to watch. So you'll see that stuff come later on. Thank you everybody who's joining me over on TikTok and welcome. Again, feel free if you have any questions to fire them through. We do this every Wednesday at 5 p.m. PST. My name is David Lozeau, and I'm a Southern California-based artist. This is what I do. So we just wanted to share the process tonight. We're just getting after it here. It's fun to get back to this piece. I started this piece before my trip, and it's so it sat for almost a month, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and that's a long time for me. I hate to have a piece that I'm working on just sit there. I don't like to start other pieces. Unfortunately, I had to because I was doing live demos, but now it just feels relieving to get back to this piece. It's just sitting there waiting for me. So. So again, it's adding some texture down here that I'll kind of, just adjust as I go. This is really it's this kind of process where the big areas I kind of layer in texture and go back in again and kind of recarve it. Just kind of work on it. I know to make this Comstock in that. Look on this top up here. Maybe out of the way a little more too. Kind of just carve some more stuff in here. And I'll come back and do the top of those other leaves later. Some structure done. And then let's be honest, it's the most fun to be done. So we want to get this hard. All right. Get my head out of the way. Questions? Are we good? Are we good? Not doing shots. This is my first time back in a while, so we're gonna let the head get in the way. Comp talk, you don't tell me, I don't know. Shapes here. Yeah, thanks everybody for hanging out and joining the stream. I appreciate it. If you're new here, like I said, we do this every Wednesday, and feel free to fire some questions through. That's about process, art, you know, all the stuff. This nose cap. Just like the eye, I'm gonna do a lot of marks, but won't keep a lot of it. But just kind of like to make some marks, and then I'll start working, carving out what I want to keep, what I don't want to keep. Hey James, thanks for hanging out, man. Thanks for joining. It's been a while. And actually, I think I might have to miss next week because we have a Padres game. So I'm not sure yet, but we'll figure that out. But again, we're back though. We're not traveling anymore, so excited to be back. I missed it. I missed the stream and doing this kind of stuff. So while I was painting in front of groups, it wasn't like this. Just I get to do my jammies and hang out. So much less than an in-person demo. Someone's asking what I talk about while I was in Australia. Again, it's funny. There's no more welcoming place. They all want to make sure you're having a great time. They're really supportive. They want to make sure you're loving their country. You've seen everything. You're being taken care of. It's just like nowhere else in the world do they care about your time there. Their questions were obviously about the political situation, but also just about just the videos they see online. What's real? What's are we all over here doing giant Mr. Beast challenges? That kind of stuff. It's very very funny to kind of they're wondering what's real, what's just being put in their algorithms. But just the simple stuff like the size of food, the burger. It's very much a they want to know. They want to know how much is real from what they're seeing. And most have been to the States. They love it. Australians travel. They love to travel. They go everywhere. So they really are well traveled. They love to come to see Americana. They want to see Route 66. They want to they want to go to Las Vegas. They want to see the very traditional American kind of things. Again, I was handling a lot of car show guys, so they want to go to see rat rods. They want to see car shows, this kind of stuff that they don't have really out there. They want to kind of do those things. So it's always fun to be an ambassador to kind of share the country and disprove myths and other things. It's fun to kind of to be able to talk about the country. So again, we're just kind of carving all the shapes, kind of making this, putting these shapes together, pushing things back, pulling things. But this is the fun part. This is, again, the enamel, carving all the details, seeing the skull come together. You just joined me. We just did this whole half of the eye while on the stream. So you're going to kind of see the rest of this side kind of come together. So that's why I like using enamel too. You can really see things develop quickly. It's not like an oil paint that needs to be built up over a long period of time. My lines get thrown down, and that is the line. That is the shape. There isn't a ton of redoing. Once I have a shape down, that is the shape. One, because the enamel doesn't really let you redo anything. That's just also my style and how I paint to kind of make those decisions, very confident line work, and then go. Check here, any questions, stuff going on. All right, everything's good, everything's good. Yes, right. Tony Gwynn. I grew up as a Red Sox fan on the East Coast, but Tony Gwynn was my secondary West Coast favorite player because he was a lot like the players I like. The Wade Boggs, who's a power hitter for contact. But yeah, so being out here for 20 years, we don't do much sports. We're huge fans of the SCFC. I've seen the tickets, but I do like to catch a Padres game. It's just a beautiful stadium. Even if you don't like baseball, it's just so beautiful to go down there. It's just right in the heart of the city. Did a great job with it. So it's really just a fun spot to go down. And these tickets are actually with the SCFC, so I'm excited to have my two favorite, sports things combined. All right, kind of card. So we're just getting rid of these shapes. Yeah, I'm leaving some of this stuff over here. I'll probably take some of that out. I just like having, interesting texture in a spot rather than just filling it all black. I think it just more intrigues the eye to see some work in there. And again, this will wrap around inside his body, so I want to see some of that in there. So we're going to lay in two. I can see an edge here a little bit. See a little bit of that edge, a little top edge too. I don't like having clean teeth, so it's really cool marks on that guy. Going on there now. Let's feel that. Doing that. I think it's very Bob Ross and Commander Mark to talk while you're painting the strokes. We're going to do a little of that in there. Happy skull the crap out of that guy. Anyway, copyright take it down. All right, so again, same thing, just carving out these shapes of the teeth. Kind of left-handed, I try and get the one part done before I move on, so I don't get my hand stuck inside. I'm going to carve a few more of these shapes out there. You guys can't see that. Right here, we go. Use my hat out of the way. And this is part of my sacred series. If you're new here, I did an owl a few months ago, and I kind of started the series. And this is the first one, or the second one in the series, and there's going to be more coming. So this is it's a fun series to mix kind of a feel with some religious iconology, kind of have that unique symbolism. It's just fun to play with different things. Keeps me excited. Check to make sure it comments. I can read these myself, so I'm trying to catch up. If you got any questions, feel free to fire them on through. My underpainting was teal, and doing that just kind of lets it come through the painting in certain areas and little bits. It's kind of really, normally I do a warm color, so it's a really interesting feeling. It's hard to see on the video, but you see the print is just subtle little flashes here and there. It's almost a trick of the mind. Again, I'll go back in and play with those some more after, but now it's kind of, put the color in, let me look at it, discuss the painting, how's the scale. Obviously, I have to do this part first on the side wings, and that will kind of help determine how much detail I need in there. But even though it's a strong line work and it's on rock, it really is a process of pushing things back and seeing how things breathe. Is something logically, do you see it the right way? All those kind of things. Shapes here. Sexy part down here. Sorry about that. But he's got a little weight underneath him, so I can kind of see how that feels, see how that sits. Sure. Everything's good. Questions? Feel free to fire them through. We're just gonna keep thinking. All right. What's on that? Starting out the side too. That'll really, once both eyes are in there, it really kind of bring it together. You see how it all works here. So. Shapes and textures. Just kind of move that so you know where it goes. There. You want to figure it out there. I want this skull to really be kind of under. Good. In there. If you miss the other eye, you'll kind of see how put in these lines here. You see, like, put these lines in to give me a grid space to work with. This in. If you like Raven stuff, definitely check out my site. I have a bunch of Raven pieces. They're one of my favorite subjects to paint, so you can see. I have them in all various states and situations, with and without skeletons. Pushing that back. See what we want to show. Don't want to show. a little bit. As you can see, I get rid of most of it. You know, move there to show the shape. There we go, just a little bit. Get that thing over lower so we don't have as many on that side. Let's go. Here, guided lines. Orange. And these two guiding lines, I'll fix these with feathers, get them, but just where they sit. All right, so you kind of see that whole part kind of come together. I'm just going to put some lines behind this so you can see this a little better. But you can see how at the beginning of the stream, this had no detail in the skull at all, and we've kind of really brought him to life, and there's a lot more to go actually. Here. Thinking about these kind of skulls here, they're old and modeled, meaning all kinds of shapes and textures. And you can't do too much to this, you know, they're just so riddled with decay and kind of spots. You really have fun rendering all that. Start around some of these here. Edge there, edge two. Make them back out is that too. Right. Wrap around. I'm just going here, want some more volume. I don't want to do too much until I get a good look by pulling it around again. Just going to do this black so you can see how he sits in there. Here. It's like the other side. I'm just throwing in some reference lines to mimic the shapes of the feathers. Just like this side, I'll inevitably color a lot of them out, but I just want to have them as reference points now. So this side's going to have the same, very similar feeling. Crappy, so that. There. Now we can see the shape. I can judge the teeth now, what needs a little work. Details in there. Put that back around. Hey, Honda Kicks. Honda's asking. Sorry, Hondo. I might put my glasses. I can't see that far away. Hondo's asking if I had a chance to paint downtown Disney lately. I have not. They no longer do the artist in residence program. They actually don't even have the Wonderground Gallery anymore. It's kind of just a store that really just has crappy home goods now. It's really a bummer because it's such a great place to see people's art interpretations of Disney stuff. So for those who don't know, I was an artist in residence at the downtown Disney for 8 years. So a lot of people first saw the art there. So I love getting a chance to paint there and share the work. I painted my own work and did a few pieces for Disney and for LucasArts while I was there. I do miss it tremendously. I would love to go back, but the program is just gone. They only have, I think, 2 in-house artists that they just use their stuff. They don't have artists on site doing that anymore. So kind of a bummer. But again, it may come back. Those things can happen. We had a great person we worked with there at Disney, and they were just really nice, great to us, and again, to share the work and to be on the site. And it was really a fun time. I miss it because I got a chance to talk to animation students every time I was there. So it's a bummer. We hope maybe he comes back. But that's where we were there for 8 years, and I do really miss that. That went away during COVID and just never returned. But Hano, thanks for following the art, and thanks for still following the art. Appreciate it. Those are good times. Again, I love prepping pieces in advance, all the ideas I had. It was just a really an interesting way to paint, to be around there and be in the fishbowl, with just thousands of people walking by all the time. And yeah, I still talk to people all the time who that's the first place they saw the art. So it's really cool that you stopped in and then you got to see it firsthand. Again, those things come and go, and they're always taking and adding new shops in downtown Disney. So maybe something will come back and we can get back in there. Yeah, I'm gonna push some of these things back. I just want to see the skull surrounded by black, just so I can help weigh him down. Make sure we got the right tones on him, and he's sitting far back. So I'm just gonna go in here and just put just a little color to push him back, so you can see that. Dragon Lady, what's going on? Thanks for joining. Appreciate it. I'm not doing dragons today, so I'm letting you have your stuff, but I may come and get it again. I don't know. We'll see if at the licensing show I may just do nothing but dragons. So look out. All right, now you kind of see it carving out a little bit. Don't like the two teeth match, so we gotta put a divot and reshape one of those teeth because they're too close together. Like that. There you go. A little raggedy. Little raggedy man. All right, we put in shapes here. Again, I'll probably paint a lot of these flower shapes out of there, so. Yes, Dragon Lady, super excited to get out there and see everybody again. I love getting a chance to hang out with other artists and be able to paint at the licensing show and just pick people's brains and want to see other artists and talk what they're doing, what they what's going on in their studio, what they're trying. Just a fun way to catch up. I miss that kind of artist feel that you get when you're in college, being surrounded by artists. So I just wanted to have that again. I'm excited to see all you know out there. Which will come up quick because I haven't booked anything yet, so if I have to look in the beginning, that sorted out there. Get some textures down here. The skull really is able to kind of pull away, and I can see it cleanly now. It has kind of some depth around it. Push back. Totally, Drag. When I come back there, I have 20 projects I want to do because I talk to everybody and I'm like, oh, it's a great idea. I want to try that. I want to try that. Yeah, it's great to hang. Everyone should hang out with our artists just get you inspired. Even though do what you do, they're so creative. I think being around other creatives is just so important to recharge and to someone to commiserate sometimes, especially in these times, just to understand some of the challenges. Textures out like that. Like that. Angie over on TikTok, thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. You guys are here for the first time. My name is David Lozeau. I'm an artist based in Southern California, and this is what we do on Wednesdays. Feel free to fire any questions you have through. We're just, making art. I've been painting anyways, so we decided to turn on the things and share the work. The things being the cameras. But thanks for hanging out. Again, any questions you have, feel free to fire them through. This is what we're doing. All right, that's coming up better now. Like, push some things back. So really is a balance. Finding those shapes, pushing things back. I don't keep saying over and over. Just can't stress that part enough. Just kind of looking at it. Those shapes. It's a little surface texture. And I use the marks I made in gouache on the skull, and then I kind of accentuate them with the enamel. So it's really a give and take to kind of let those pieces come out. Thanks, Hondo. And it really, the line work, it's how my brain sees it, but I love it too. It really lets it kind of pop. I get to carve out the detail. And I see people sometimes see the piece before and they go, oh, it's fine the way it is. I'm just like, just wait a second. It's going to get even better. The black just gives it dimension, like you said, and weight. I totally agree. It's my favorite part. It really lets it shine. Just come together like that. And for me, I love the whole creation of the project, but the underpainting can sometimes feel like a slog because I'm just building up the values. And while I love to do that part, it's not like I love to do this part. Sometimes it's like, I'll just get to the good part. Let's get to the, get to the dessert already. Enough with the salad. I like these textures at the bottom here. It doesn't look like tail, but I do like how that looks. I mean, I can do really much of that actually. It's loose, but kind of a nice flow to it. Not too strong. You can take away from the skull. It's better than having big flat areas than without even going on. I like to see some of the teal show through what we've got going on here. We just joined. The background is acrylic, meaning just kind of like this part here, and that's all acrylic. All the colors you see here, besides the dark background and this, are all gouache. Gouache is kind of like an opaque watercolor. It goes on transparent. It's reactivated with water. I enjoy it because it just gives a much different feel than acrylics. And the final stage you can see me doing now is enamel. Enamel is like a pinstriper's paint, a sign painter's paint. It's been around for hundreds of years. It's kind of like you see on hot rods or cars, when you see a pinstripe go down the length of a car. That's the same kind of paint. And the reason I use it is because it's completely opaque. So I make one little hair. If I want this too, I make one little mark right there. It's completely opaque the whole way through. If I was using acrylic, I have to go back probably and retouch it because it keeps so transparent because the paint breaks. Enamel doesn't. Enamel is consistent. When mixed the right way, it's basically completely opaque. It's like almost like drawing a vein. I think that's why my brain likes it. That's my technique, and that's kind of what I do. It's a little unusual, mixed media, I guess you'd call it, but it's just how my brain kind of sees everything, and then this paint helps me get that out the easiest. Thanks, Joanne. Appreciate it. Yeah, it does have a woodblock kind of feel, and I love woodblock art. I love that style, and I think in my brain, that's exactly kind of the same thing where I'm carving out the pieces. It feels like that. Hondo, the enamel does not dry fast. That is probably the worst part of it, besides the smell and the toxicity, is that this will be tacky, always tacky, but it'll be tacky to the touch for probably the next 4 to 6 hours. It can't be clear coated for 48. So that's kind of the downside. But again, small price to pay. I just got to be careful. That's why I work right to left to make sure my hand stays out of it, because if I smudge it, there is no taking it back off. It will destroy the layers underneath. You got to make sure. Dragon Lady, yes, the gouache goes right over the acrylics. You could do acrylics over gouache if you got it and got out quickly. It doesn't work as well. Acrylic has drying polymer in it, so you want to get that in there and done. You don't want to so you can do acrylics first. You can do gouache on top of acrylics all day long. There's no penalty. It doesn't dry. It doesn't act weird. Nothing. You go right on top of it. And the last stage you do is basically the enamel on top. As long as you end with an oil base, you're fine. You couldn't start with an enamel. You can't do water based on top of oil, but you can do oil on top of water. Hey, cheers for Adrian. Thanks for joining the stream. Appreciate it. Thank you guys all for hanging out. This is again, I didn't get to do this for a few weeks and I missed it. So it's really fun to be back here. And again, I appreciate everybody on Instagram, TikTok, wherever you guys are watching, YouTube, all those things. Thank you. Much appreciated. All right, make sure he's caught up on the questions. Apologize if I missed any of your questions or anything. I'll make sure I get them back afterwards. I'm just reading them myself, so I got kind of miss stuff because I did not see them. I'm trying to. So I'm just going to go in here. How is it? Yeah, so we got about another 10, 15 minutes. I'm just going to trim some stuff and make some adjustments and some shape stuff. Things I don't like. Just going to kind of tweak some of that. And that's the good thing about with enamel is I can just go back in and paint right over stuff, and I can't remove it, but I can definitely add to it. We're just going to add some things I think are missing, some extra shapes. Really, it's the finer line stuff. Just kind of connect these things. Sound effects help doing the sound effects. Moving back. Joanne, great question. So when you sell framed art, have you had any trouble with selling the frame because they're antique? So I have not had any problems at all because and the best way to get around something like that is to just embellish the frame. If you need to, if there's a weird tax thing or you worry about business, kind of stuff like that. I've had no issues though. I've never had anyone. I've had more issues with my handmade frames that I make look antique, because they've gotten held up at customs because my antiquing job looked so good. They thought they were riddled with worms, So they had to irradiate them because they were worried that it was, I put a certificate in there, told them it was new wood, showed pictures, but it was not enough. They were convinced it was 100-year-old wood, so they basically kept it in custody until it could be cleared. But I've had no problem with the antique stuff. Let me know if I answered that, if I got the question right too. I'm make sure I got what you're asking. Especially we're caught up. We're good. All right. Good to see people back on the stream I haven't seen in a while. Around now, give us some things, some different textures. All right, we've definitely carved that out pretty well. I'm just going to do a few of the leaves, the feathers above it here. That's what I'll need to do next. I'm just going to kind of carve in some of those shapes. You can't see that process. Not as sexy as the skull, but still an important part of the process is it gives weight to the rest of the piece. Hey David, you can grab my art on my site, davidlozeau.com. Right in the bio there, you can see it. We have prints in all sizes, and there's a ton of different genres too. I have nautical, military, hot rod, Day of the Dead, traditional love pieces, Wild West, just about everything. So get over there and find something you like and snatch it up. You get canvas, paper prints, all budgets, all the stuff. So we're just going to kind of carve this in here. And for those watching, I'll have a big art release coming up. I have probably 4 or 5 pieces, including this one, to release in the coming weeks. So you're gonna have some new stuff coming soon. The Athena piece is ready to go, so we'll get that launched soon. If you saw me do that on the live stream recently, that one's finally ready, so we'll get that out there too. No, so Joanne, again, if I got your question right, do not worry one bit. Do not worry, there's no tax implications, there's nothing. It's just like a canvas. When you paint on something, doesn't matter if it's upcycled, thrifted, or anything like that, it becomes a canvas, and it's just a canvas. No more than that, there's no different issue, there's no decoration you have to make. You're painting on, you're upcycling something, but there's no, as an artist, there's nothing else extra you need to do. I've never seen anything like that or heard of anything like that. So you should be good to go. Make your art, paint on stuff, there's nothing to, I've never seen anything like that. You can double check to make sure, but I've never, in my 15 years of being on the road doing shows, heard any kind of issues like that. So you should be good to go. And I paint on oil cans, I paint on musical instruments, I paint on cars, I paint on everything, and never had an issue. Thank you, Violet. Thanks for watching the stream. I'm glad you like the Raven. One of my favorites too. And as long as Violet likes it, the stream is approved. David, when I come into Dallas, so no plans right now. But again, that changes. Right now, I know that I'll be in, obviously, Arizona at Christmas time. I'm always up there at the gallery in Prescott. I'll be in May, I'll be in Vegas, but that's kind of an industry show. And then I have a show scheduled in Nashville. I'll know more about that and release details once we solidify that. There's nothing planned for Texas right now. Doesn't mean there won't be. Those things kind of pop up quickly and get scheduled. So I have nothing planned now, but if you want to see me paint, you got to come out here to San Diego. I'll be painting for Day of the Dead in Oceanside and down in Old Town San Diego. I know those for sure. Always a great time to come out to San Diego, but that's kind of what I got right now. Again, any changes I'll post up as we, again, these events do tend to pop up quickly. So I'll try and keep everybody abreast of what's going on as I know. We have some fun stuff coming, some fun events. Yeah, I always like coming out and doing demos, and I've never been to Dallas to do demos, so that'd be pretty fun. Put on a list. Look at Todd just finally showing up. Like he's got something else more important to do. All right, I'm just going to a little more feather work here for the last few minutes. But again, any last questions you have in, I want to thank everybody for hanging out and stream, for joining me, whether you're on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, wherever you're watching me. I appreciate it. We do this every Wednesday, except for next weekend, next Wednesday, because I'm going to be at the Padres game. But thank you guys for being here. Hope to see you guys again. Again, always feel free to ask questions. If you missed your question, you can always fire it through or just send me an email. Again, you can see all the art on the site. But again, thank you guys for joining me. And we'll do this again, and we're going to see you guys in 2 weeks for the next one. All right? Thank you, David. I hope to catch you in Dallas. Thanks, everybody, for the great questions. Violet, thank you for watching. Thanks, everybody, for the great questions. All right? We'll talk to you guys next time. Take care. Thank you.